from the different part of the country and connected through this FTP program via online platform. And I feel it was not easy for everyone to physically present for 5 to 6 days in the normal situation, that I believe, because we all are busy in our own schedules. So I thank you, Dr. Alok sir, my mentor, to provide us an opportunity to connect. Thank you so much, sir, to manage the entire show. Your energy and effort are always appreciable. So we are going to discuss all those things in this session. So initially we talk about the deep learning and all. Before that, we discuss something like when you say brain, not just the human brain. It could be an ant's brain, or it could be the mouse, and these are very complex brain. The scientists figure out that the brain of the rat or a mouse, if trained properly, they can detect explosive bombs as well. So here I'm trying to convey that there is an incredible amount of complexity just for using simple brain and neurons. So in this session of deep learning, we will go through the introduction to deep learning, in which it will take you across what is deep learning architecture, convolution neural network, and some case studies as well, like the LeNet and the Elixir. So I hope the agenda of today's session is clear to everyone. So the question began with this: what is deep learning? Before starting the presentation, we'll start some this general thing. So what is deep learning? So to understand what deep learning is, we first need to understand the relationship deep learning has with the machine learning, neural network, and artificial intelligence. Broadly speaking, deep learning is a more approachable name for the artificial neural network. The deep in deep learning refer to the depth of the network. An artificial neural network can be very shallow. Neural network are inspired by the structure of the cerebral cortex, seems to be like this at the basic level, actually our brain upper layer. So at the basic level is the perceptron. Please make a note about this term perceptron. We are going to discuss in detail this perceptron, which is the mathematical representation of the biological neuron, like in the cerebral cortex. There can be
Slide is not
several.
changing, sir.
Not moving. Initially, I asked about, is it moving now or not? Right now, we are at the third slide. The image of the
Yes, it
cerebral.
is very much visible, sir. Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead. It is
Okay.
cerebral cortex is visible, and why deep learning is
Right.
very important is also seen.
Great, great, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, like the cerebral cortex, there can be several layers to interconnected perceptions. Now, the important thing is this: why deep learning is very important. See, in Shadi.com was the first web portal used the machine learning in the year 2008 to match the bride and groom as some sort of recommendation system. Match like if you are tall or small, bright in color or dull, or many more such kind of features. Even somebody upload the photo of chimpanzee, so the system also provide the match. But deep learning well taken all such issues. Computer have had long techniques for recognizing features inside of image, signals, speech, and others. The results were not always great. Computer vision actually has been the main beneficiary of deep learning. Computer vision using deep learning now reveal human or many image recognition tasks. Facebook has had great success with identifying face in photograph by using the deep learning. It is not just a marginal improvement. It's a game changer. Speech recognition is the another area that felt deep learning's impact. Spoken language are so vast and ambiguous. Weidu is one of the leading search engine of China, has developed a voice recognition device that is faster and more accurate than human at producing the text on a mobile phone. And it is available in both English and the Mandarin, which is the language of China. So vision, speech, signal based problems are well taken care by the deep learning. So I hope the idea behind this deep learning is clear to everyone. Move on to the next. Initially, if we talk about the machine learning, we have the image, and what we do, we try to identify the features. We need to extract the feature by applying some medium. And after identifying the features, we apply some machine learning algorithms. And by applying these machine learning algorithms, we are able to classify the image and whatever it is. Initially, we are considering the example of image as we discussed, that image, video, text, and in fact, voice signals. These are the areas where deep learning is doing very good job. So, but this is actually a tedious and costly task. Why so? Because handcrafted features are usually highly depend on one application and cannot be transferred easily to the another one. So what we can do, we can find an alternative way, that is the deep learning, where actually take the image or video or whatever it is, we considering this example, we use a deep learning network model. And after applying this model actually classifies whether it is a cat or dog. So we are going to talk about this middle one, deep learning. I hope it is clear. This statistic narrate that as the data size increases, the performance of deep learning algorithms drastically increases as comparatively the machine learning. And we all know that now data is producing every day. Huge amount of data producing every day. We people are producing data. So when we talk about the deep learning, what actually it do? Deep learning learn rich hierarchical representation. What actually it is doing, it is identifying some feature at one layer, some feature at another layer, some feature at next layer, and finally through this classify the things. So at each layer it processes something. We are talking about the layers, these layers, this middle one, this one. We need to also understand this thing, that deep learning is actually a subset of the artificial intelligence. And in fact, if we broadly see that the artificial intelligence is a broader domain, and in this artificial intelligence domain, we have a machine learning and the deep learning both. So the basic building block of all these things is the perceptron, which was the first neural network. Perceptron was nothing. It is something like we have some input values. Please mute yourself, please.
लेकर आ जो कर रहे तूने जल्दी का मुझे क्या क्या सुना दिया.
Please mute yourself. Anybody who can communicate? Okay, thank you. So it is nothing like we have the input values. Each input is having some weights. It is a single layer neural network sort of thing. So we have some input weights. We'll talk about these inputs and some weights. Each input is having some weight value. We just need to sum it up. And after summing it up, we apply the activation function. and finally we get the outcome. We know about the input that in our brain there are n number of neurons working together. They charge for some decision making, right? So these are the input, and each neuron is having some weight value. I'll tell you that example as well. So so this all information add here at this position, and the activation function play the role over here as well. So what actually this activation function is? Activation function is biologically inspired by activities inside our brain, wherein different neurons get activated by different stimuli. For instance, if we smell something delicious, certain neurons get activated. Means there will be some neurons, X1, X2, Xn, whatever the neurons, and definitely they have some weight values. So some neurons will activate it, which help us to sense the smell or taste. On the contrary, if we smell something unpleasant, then what will happen? The same neurons do not get activated. Instead, another set of neuron will activate it. So briefly, what we can say about, so briefly getting activated can be represented as 1, and not getting activated can be represented as 0. From all this understanding, we can conclude closer to the value 0, lesser is its activation tendency, and vice versa. Right? So if it is 0, then it is not going to be activated. It is 1, it is going to be activated, and something like some other type of things as well. So activation function mainly the another thing which I'm going to discuss. So activation function, what actually it is doing, it is mainly the handling the non-linearity during the output. Why we need this non-linearity? Again, one important task, this non-linearity. All this is the pre-processing before we move to the deep dive into the deep learning. We need to understand all those concepts. So very quickly, I'm going to discuss all these things. So why this non-linearity? See, activation functions are functions that impact non-linearity to the network and is one of the factors that affect our result and accuracy of our model. So for our neural network to provide outstanding result, somehow we need to consider non-linear activation function. And we need to consider all those things into the consideration. If we are not going to do so, it will simply be a standard logistic regression, nothing else. So we do this thing because of all those purposes. Right. So activation function, we understand it is the thing that like neuron would fire or not. So activation function basically decide whether a neuron should be activated or not, or whether the information a neuron is receiving is relevant for the given information or should be ignored. Like say whether we are spelling or we are spelling a good smell or unpleasant smell, something like similar like. So we have some activation function like sigmoid. Sigmoid, what this sigmoid activation function will do, whatever output we are getting at this place, whatever output we are getting, what this sigmoid will do, sigmoid will squash this output in between the 0 and 1, right? It will squish it in between the 0 and 1. We can understand this through this. I'm a bit moving fast because the main purpose is to discuss the convolution neural network. Another function is the tan function. Actually, what this tan function do will squeeze the values in between the -1 to 1. So its values in between the -1 to 1. And the most commonly used nowadays is the ReLU function, ReLU unit function, rectified linear unit. What it is squeeze the value in between the 0 and x, means the maximum of 0 and x. So whatever value we have in the negative side, it will treat it as 0. Whatever value we have at the negative side will be treated as 0. So these are some commonly used activation functions we have. Okay. So these are activation, we understand, very right. But a single neuron is not interesting, nor useful. It cannot learn. It actually, what it can do, it simply receive input and either fire or not, nothing else. It is not going to do anything else. Only when the neurons are joined as a network can they perform a useful network. Or learning task place by changing the weights of the connection in the network. So what we have three things. One is an input layer, one is a hidden layer, and one is an output layer. So broadly in general, a neural network can be understood as this: input, hidden, and output. Obviously, there are multiple hidden layer in between that we can add. And there we need to change the weight that we will see. Another important term is this bias. We need to add with this neural. What is this bias? Actually, when we learn this line equation, y is equals to mx plus c. So what is c? Without c, the line will always go through the origin. To avoid this kind of situation, we add this bias term along with the weight input and all, right? So this is our complete neural network where we have an input, middle, which is the hidden layer, and the output. Multiple hidden layer. There may be the multi-layer classification, multiple classification, bias term. So we'll see all those things. Let's see one example very quickly. So we have certain values of the neuron, 1.4, 2.7, 1.9 input के साथ weight we are having, and the class output, final output will be 0, 1, 1, 0.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Please.
Sir, excuse. Sir, we are not able to see the slides. Just only the first slide is coming. Can you please display the slides?
Okay.
But in our machine it is seen. But in our machine it is seen. I don't know.
That's why
I have
I'm
seen
proceeding further. Yeah, that's why I'm
slide.
proceeding. Yes, yes.
I am seeing your 18th number slide, sir, I think.
Yeah, it is 18 number slide actually.
Yes, it is visible here. 18th slide.
Okay. So please check once, ma'am.
So
there
there
may be a possibility of
problem.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir, it is a problem.
No, sir, it's not visible.
Yes, sir, it is not visible, sir.
Okay.
Ask them to come connect once again. Maybe there is.
Okay, sir.
So what you can do, you try to reconnect. And please let me know if in case your problem is not resolved. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we have the random weight we choose. And finally, the moment, same thing we are doing, inputting the value, multiplying it with weight, summing it up over here, applying some activation function. We're not going about the what kind of activation we are applying and that. We just try to see that we were expecting the value 0 and we are getting the output 0.8. So error is 0.8. We have an error. We're not actually getting the output which we were expecting. So what we need to do? Here we need to do, here the back propagation and all these kind of things are work. I'm not going to discuss this back propagation because time is very less. Otherwise, we need at least 2-3 hours to discuss all those mathematical operations and all. So what we need to do, we need to tune up all these weights. We updated these, try again. Again, if we find some difference, again we tune up the weights. Then we do this multiple times till when we are not getting the optimum weights. I hope I'm rightly conveyed to everyone what exactly I want to tell you. So every time we are going to update the weights. So this is actually the basic.
Excuse me, sir.
Please.
Excuse me, sir. If it is possible, you once more expression with your slide, because before the date, the slide is not visible, na? So I can understand what is the things. Please take up one little bit revision with the slide, sir. If it is possible.
Okay. So now is it visible to you?
Yes,
sir.
sir, now
Yes,
it's
sir. Right now.
visible.
Okay, so we
Yes.
can start from this perceptron very quickly. This is the first building
Yes,
block
sir.
of the this is the first building block of the deep learning. So we were talking about this perceptron, which is a single layer network in which we have some input values and the weight. We need to multiply this input with the weight, and we need to sum it up over here. Then we need to apply one activation function. We have already been discussed about the activation function. Activation function actually tell us that whether the neuron will fire or not. So through this, we'll get some output over here. We have different kind of activation function. These are like sigmoid activation function we have. In the sigmoid activation function actually squeezed the value in between the 0 and 1. Likewise, we have the tan activation function, which squeeze the value in between -1 and 1. And the next one is the ReLU activation function, which is the actually commonly used function nowadays, in which the negative values will be treated as the 0. So we have the maximum of 0 and x in this. After that, we were talking about this neural network where we have the input hidden and output layer. We may have the multiple hidden layer in this neural network that once you will go for the experiment and all, you will automatically get all those things. So we talk about the bias as well, and we understand very similar like the y is equals to mx plus c. The role of c is same as the bias we have. So we always put a specific big constant value bias over here while we use the neural network. And we were considering this example in which we have some weight values, randomly chosen weight value. And after applying this weight value, final outcome, let's say the final outcome is 0.8, but we were expecting the outcome is 0. So there is a difference or error of 0.8. Now the role of backpropagation algorithm begin. In this backpropagation algorithm, what we need to do, we need to update the weights every time so that we minimize this error value. But I'm not going to discuss, I told you that time as well, I'm not going to discuss this back propagation because it takes time. So we need to tune up these weights and again check it for the next input values and again check for the next input value, again update the weight, again check the values so that somehow we are able to minimize this error value. I hope it is clear. Right. So it seems to be like that every time when we are updating weights, it will be like this. And finally, at this position, we are getting an optimum solution. Oh, yes, we are able to classify these two clusters. So this is the purpose of updating. So we are able to cluster these two colors.
Sir, we are doing only feed forwarding, not back propagation.
Yes. I'm not going to discuss actually. This we can do, but it take time. That's why I'm not discussing. Actually, my main motive is to discuss you the convolution because time is already short. So that's why I'm a bit fast moving. So this is the general term. Okay. Just to show you one thing, suppose we have an image of 1000 cross 1000 cross 33 is the RGB3 channels. So the size of this image will be the 3 million, obviously, right? So once I input this 3 million, I just represent 3, but it's x1, x2, x2 up to so on up to 3 million. We have we have a middle layer, and definitely there will be one. There are 1000 neurons, suppose here. So the matrix size will be 1000 cross 3 million will be 3 billion. Huge number to calculate.
Sir, your slide number 13 is here. Your slide number 13 is
36.
No, it is 13. So
sir, we are seeing 13. Slide number 13 is
yes.
But it's 36 in front of me. Any other who is not getting this slide number 36?
Now it is slightly moving down.
Yes, sir.
Now it is 36.
Okay. So again, I'm repeating this thing. Please mute yourself, please. Please mute. Please mute yourself. Thank you. So we have an image of 1000 cross 1000 cross 3, and this 3 million values. If we have a middle layer of 1000 neuron, multiply, definitely the matrix size will be the 3 billion, which is a very huge number to calculate. One issue, again, we'll discuss about this just after a minute. Another issue is, suppose in this 4 cross 4 area, we have an image at this particular position where this cat is placed, and this neural network is handling the things where we have the x1, x2, x3 up to x16. We are multiplying everything and we are able to segregate all those, and we receive that finally, yes, we are able to identify that this is the cat which is placed at this position. But in the next, when we are testing it, so what happened? Now the cat is placed at this position. Now you know what happened? Again, these are the prominent areas where actually we train the system, that these are the prominent areas where we have the image of cat, but the cat position is changed. So the conclusion is, parameters learned from one part of the image cannot be used for other part of the image. One issue. Another issue which I discussed in the previous slide, which is once we have the colored image kind of thing, like 1000 cross 1000 cross 3, so there is a huge number to calculate. So for overcoming all these kind of problem, we have one solution. That solution is actually the convolution neural network. So this convolution neural network is actually what this we are going to discuss, and time allow, we'll do some case studies as well. So now suppose we have this cat at this particular position, and we have a convolution window. So the convolution define a window by which we examine a subset of the image and subsequently scan the entire image looking through this window. This window is also sometimes called a filter, we can say, or a kernel, we can say. The output of the convolution is referred to as a feature map. So now this time, this is the convolution window we have, which we will pass through this entire 4 cross 4 like this, and we'll be able to identify the things very prominent. See the example. With this example, probably I'll able to tell you the many things. So this is, we have a binary image where we have the 0 and 1 values, and we are applying the filter. So here we have a filter which is 0, 0.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sir, are you showing slide number is still slide number 36 is visible to me, sir?
I don't know what's going on, but it's 46.
Yes, sir. It is freezed on slide number 36, sir, in my system.
Okay, so just let me reset once. Is it
okay, sir.
46 now?
No, sir. 36. Maybe other participants are seeing. No, it is visible, sir.
Okay. Maybe actually initially when I was trying to connect through the Microsoft Team, I was getting the error. It was I don't know what kind of error it was. It was every time it was showing we ran into a problem reconnecting. We ran into a problem reconnecting. Maybe it is the issue of the Microsoft Team because of this kind of situation arise. Anyways, so now is it 46 in front of you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
47, in fact. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So, so this is the input image. Initially, this is the input image which is in front of us, and we are applying this convolution filter 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. So what actually, how we apply this convolution, that we need to see. This we will multiply the initially at this blue position of the matrix of this. It is 7 cross 7. We multiply first element with the first, second with the second, third with the third, fourth with the fourth, likewise, and we'll add it up and we'll place it over here. So finally what we will get, we are placing we are placing it at this position initially, multiplying pixel by pixel value here, and we are placing the 0 value here. In the second, we'll move to this position. Again, we'll multiply pixel by pixel and we'll place this value over here. Likewise, for the next, we'll choose this window and we'll move on. So one by one, we'll move on and we'll do this exercise. Right. So this is one filter which we apply with this image. We can apply multiple filters over here. So through this we'll get some value, through this we'll get some value, and we can apply multiple such kind of filters. And the bunch of this kind of filters is whatever outcome we'll get after applying all those. This is a feature map actually. We extract something through this. Initially in the slide of deep learning introduction, I discussed that it extracting some low level feature, middle level, and something like. So it extracting at every step.
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Oh. I don't know about all this. What to do now? Is it? Is it? Anybody who is not getting, please let me know.
No, sir.
No, sir, it's not visible.
Can somebody tell me how to solve this problem?
Sir, in the Microsoft team, there will be a small bar. Are you seeing that bar? A small bar with the
yes.
video.
Yes, it is. There are some icons over here. Yes.
And there will be an arrow over there, small arrow.
Open share tray.
Yes.
Yes.
You click over there, and there will be an option coming, share a screen or something.
I have already been do this job because I have shared my screen. My whole screen.
No, you select a particular application also. So there will be options there.
Okay, but any case, I just share the whole window, so it must be visible.
Now it is coming. It is coming.
Okay. So is it fine? Is it fine?
It is fine, but it may be slow. When you will move your slides, it may not be coming as fast as you are moving your slides. Maybe.
So I think I must speak a little bit slow.
No. What you have to do, you have to select a particular application to present, not the whole screen. If you will select the whole screen, everything may be coming. So it may, I don't know, maybe because of that it is slowing down. So you select application, and the opened applications will be given there. Whichever applications you have open.
Presently, is it visible to everyone?
Yes.
Chale, move on. So, this is called the feature map. Actually, when we apply multiple filters, and we get some output, some sort of output. Different filters we apply, and we receive some output. This is called the feature map, where we have the different features which we extract. Another concept in this convolution neural network is the padding. Again, it is important. See very carefully. We have a 6x6 matrix. And there are two prominent areas where one is yellow, another one is this green, right? And I'm applying the convolution. I'm applying this 3x3 filter. Once this 3x3 filter pass from first window, this yellow point will never appear again while it will move. You can see, whereas this green one will appear multiple times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope you are getting what I want to tell you, that maybe this yellow one was also important, but just appear once while we were convolving, whereas the green one is appearing multiple times. So we somehow, there may be a possibility that we missed some information. So avoiding this kind of situation, we can use the concept of padding. What we do in this padding, this is actually the formula which we can see n minus f plus 1, where n is the 6 and 3 is the filter size and 1 is plus 1, so 4. So definitely the size will be 4 cross 4. But if you want the original side actually, and we don't want to lose any information, what we can do, we need to pad a 0 value. Remember one thing, the moment we are saying we are adding one padding value, we need to add this padding at all direction, upper, left, right. So we need to add it like this at every position. So the moment we add it, now this 6 cross 6 become 8 cross 8. So once it becomes 8 cross 8, now the padding value is 1. Initially it was 0. Now the formula is modified. Initially the formula is n minus f plus 1. Now the formula is modified, and the modified formula is n minus n plus 2p minus f plus 1. Just give me a minute. So this is n plus 2p. P is the padding value. Exactly when we are adding one value altogether at all places, it is 1. So it becomes 8 cross 8 instead of 6 cross 6. So the moment we calculate the output, it will be n, which is the value 6, plus 2 into padding value is 1, it is 2. So 8 minus 3, 5 plus 1, it is 6. So exactly we will get the same output which was the input. So here there will be a lesser chance to reduce the input to left any information or to miss any information. So we can do this. Generally, this p is equals to f minus 1 by 2, which is p. F is usually odd. We choose these 3 cross 3, 5 cross 5, 7 cross 7. Although there is no thumb rule of choosing 3 cross 3, 5 cross 5, or 7 cross 7, but generally we prefer it. Another concept is the stride. What is this stride? Let's see. We are moving one by one, right? Suppose we need to minimize the outcome or the output window. Like in the initially when we were talking about the padding, we were creating the same window as we have in the input. So what we can do here, we can jump. Instead of 1, we can jump 2. Remember here, initially when I showed you, it was like this one the first, second one is this, and third one is this. But here what we did, we take a jump of 2. We take a jump of 2. So in this jump of 2, this is called the stride. Sometime we need to process the fast. So that purpose, we apply some stride value. Although everything is depend on, we need to situation to situation. Please mute yourself. Somebody is please. Right. Thank you. So again the formula is modified. Now the formula is n plus 2p minus f divided by s, which is the stride, p is the padding, f is the filter size, and is the matrix size input, plus 1. So here we can see in this, we can check if you in case you need to check. Since time is an issue, we need to move forward. Definitely we will discuss here as well. So till now we were talking about the convolution of this binary and all. So let's see about the colored image where we have the RGB 3 filters, 3 different colors. So what we do, we apply 3 different filters, 3 convolution, 3 cross 3 cross 3 means 3 filters of 3 cross 3. one for the red, one for the green, one for the blue. So we apply it over here, and how it will process, that I'll show you here. Just give me a minute very quickly. So this is blue. For blue, it will apply for blue. This is for green, and this is for red. It same way it multiply one with one. This convolution, this filter with this, green with this second one, and blue with the third one. And you know how they multiply? They multiply. Total 27 number will add up, and these 27 number will place over at this first position. What is the benefit of applying this kind of different filter? Here we can see one more example of this. So we have a filter. Suppose we need to extract the edges, horizontal edges from the red color channel. So what we can do, we can keep the green and blue 0. And we apply this convolution 3 cross 3 over here in this image. So what we will get, definitely in this vertical image, we will get the vertical images of the red channel. If in case, just an example I'm considering. So we can extract the vertical images from this red channel. I hope the idea behind this convolution is clear to everyone. How we are convolving the things. We are applying the filter, passing it through the entire image. We apply the padding, we apply the stride if in case it required, and we get the output. So this 27 number placed here, like we can do this. Multiple filter we can apply. So this will be the feature map. Obviously, when we apply the multiple such kind of 3 cross 3 filter, this will be a feature map. This will be a 4 cross 4 cross 2. We apply 2 3 cross 3 filters. We apply 2 3 cross 3 cross 3 filters. So this will be a 4 cross 4 cross 2 feature map. Right. Another concept is a pooling. Initially, there was a concept of average pooling and all, but nowadays, maximally, they use the max pooling. What is the max pooling? See, after applying all those things, finally, we get some values over here in this. We get some value over here. Let's say that's 2, and it is 5, it is 7, it is 8, it is 9, it is 2, it is 0, something else. So we apply the concept of pooling. What we do in the max pooling, we create a window, let's say a 2 cross 2 window, and we identify, let's say this is value 9. We identify which is the maximum value in this pool. Again, we move our window and we identify which is the maximum value in that window. So based on that, for example, we have this. So in this window, this first window, we have this 5, which is maximum. Sorry, this complete, my mistake. So it's a 3 cross 3 of 3 we are applying. Another one is another window where we are having value 7. So can anybody tell me the next value? Can anybody tell me the next value? This is actually this window.
9. Sir, it should be 9.
Third one is this.
Third one. Okay, sir.
Yes.
7.
Right. Yes, it is 7. So likewise, we'll move downwards as same we apply the kernel. So we'll get all those values. Right. So what is the purpose of applying this pooling? Actually, if we see these images, these different images of cheetah. So what actually we are doing, we are having the different position and the rotation value images of the cheetah. So pooling actually avoid these kind of things from the image. Actually, what it is doing, somehow identifying the maximum value, maximum of, means which is the prominent one in this region, which is the prominent one in this region, which is the prominent one in this region, which is the prominent one in this region. So they actually identify this thing, which is the prominent one. So they identify this thing. So we can avoid the rotation, position, invariance kind of thing by using the pooling concept. Right. So can anybody tell me if we are having a 39 cross 39 cross 3 image, we are applying a filter of 3 cross 3, stride is 1, padding is 0, total filter 10, what will be the output after 1? Can anybody tell me? Anybody? Oh, please. At least one reply I'm expecting.
Sir, 37 by 37.
37 cross 37 cross?
3, sir.
How many filters we are applying?
Sorry, 10.
Yes.
37
Yes,
into 37
yes.
into 10, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. It is 37 cross 10 because we are applying total 10 filters. Right. So the another one is we are applying a filter of the 5 cross 5. This time the stride is 2 and padding is 0. I'm expecting some different answer from somebody else, not you. So can anybody else tell me the answer? Anybody else? Anybody? You will get 2-3 questions in the this assessment from this formula. Nobody? It's strange. So the formula in front of you can now tell me what will be the output. Nobody? Okay. So it is 17 cross 17 cross 20 because total we apply 20 filters. We apply the formula over here. So what will be the formula? It is 37 2p. Padding size is 0, right? 37 minus 5. So it is 32. So divide by S, which is stride, which is 2. So 32 divided by 2 is 16 plus 1, it is 17. And total filter are 20. So that's why it is 17 cross 20. And you know, the moment we are applying any convolution process at the end, we apply this. Finally, after applying all this, we receive the output. We sum it up over here by applying this dense, where we convert the whole neural value in a single matrix, one column matrix. Through this is actually the dense layer. And finally we get the output. Okay, so I have a quiz for you guys. Very interesting. I hope you people will enjoy. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, I have a quiz. Hope you will enjoy, and I wish to perform that. So I just have one. Okay, we'll discuss one case study of LeanNet. Then we'll discuss that quiz. So quickly move on to the LeanNet 5. It was the first network actually used for this handwritten digits of the bank check in the United States. So what it was actually, the digits were there. It was the 32 cross 32 cross 1 size. So they apply the 5 cross 5 convolution. Stride is 1, filter total filter size is 6. So definitely remember this thing. Whatever the filter size, this will be the next size, I know. And we need to calculate the matrix size by the formula, which I mentioned in the previous slide. Again, they apply the average pooling. Remember, I told you max pooling concept was not there at that time. Even padding was not there at that time. So that within very short time, they reduce the size of the image. So like initially it was 32 cross 32. Now it become 28 cross 28. Now it become 14 cross 14. And now 10 cross 10. So see, 32 cross 32 reduced to the 10 cross 10. So it is 10 cross 10. And now they apply the average pooling size 2, stride 2. It becomes 5 cross 5. cross 16, then apply a dense final layer where we multiply this 5 cross 16. This will be 400. You can calculate, right? So one column, all values placed at a single column, and apply the dense layer, fully connected layer, sorry, one of 120, one of 84, and finally output. Right. So actually, this is the basic building block of the any neural network where we have the convolution process. At the end, we have a single one column matrix, and we apply the dense layer, and finally we apply the softmax function, and we'll get the output. General building block. Probably tomorrow you have some lab sessions, or you will get some more insight about all this convolution and all. So I have one quiz for you, and since I share my whole screen, so probably this screen is visible to everyone. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you please connect this joinmyquiz.com, and the moment up is you will do this joinmyquiz.com. You log in through any of the your Gmail and anything, and you just need to enter this game code 097239, and the quiz begin. You can try this on your mobile phone. Very quickly you can connect it.
Now, sir.
Yeah, just right now. Right now. Hope you will enjoy it. It's very similar like KBC. You will get some lifeline and all. You will get more some options kind of things. So please join it. You just have 5 minutes to connect.
Can you share link in WhatsApp group?
Okay, let me try. Okay, I shared that link. Only one is joined till now. Two, very great. Rest. Just three connected. None of you attempting the quiz?
Attempting, sir.
Okay.
Sir, quiz done. Hello. Thirteen correct, Satram. Streak. रैंक 21 में से थर्ड रैंक है, नॉट बैड। 21 में से थर्ड रैंक है। हेलो,
I think sir is not here.
okay.
I think sir has left this session. He is not in the list. So just wait. Just I am just calling to him. Okay.
Okay.
Professor Kushwaha, is it over from this side or?
Thank you to all. Just one thing is left. If you will on your camera so that we can take a peek of all participants, and after that we will conclude today's session. So just for a peek, please on your camera. Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Please switch on your camera so that we can take a group photo or group pic, and after that we will conclude this session.
Okay. Thank you very much. Participant, please switch off your camera. We have already taken a step. Thank you very much, sir, for a nice lecture. Dear participant, please mute yourself. Some sound is coming.